Good evening, grave robbers, and welcome back to the television graveyard. We're your TV necromancers, Lara Prince, or Lara Crane, or whatever I'm calling myself this week, and Noah Houlihan. We have come here tonight to examine the spirits of past television shows, to find out which ones could be resurrected, should be resurrected, and which ones have used so much AI, it might be time to say goodbye. With me, as always, is TV's Noah Houlihan.
Razzies, it's time to own your bad.
So, we have been doing Razzie Month for quite some time. I believe we've been doing some iteration of Razzie Month since beginning the podcast.
So, here's the truth of the matter. I've had a relationship with the Razzies for a very long time. I always loved bad movies.
Yes.
And growing up, my parents had all the channels.
Yes.
So I would watch a movie every day. And it didn't matter what it was. It was just like, this movie is starting when I'm sitting down to do my homework or whatever.
You watched whatever started at 3:30.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, this is the movie for today. So I watched a lot of Drek, and I started to enjoy Drek. I didn't actually start to be like, I'm going to watch all the Razzie movies until 2013.
Okay.
That was the year of the Lone Ranger. I know that was the first, like, I'm sitting down to watch all the Razzie movie I watched. We watched some of them together then.
Yes.
Because that is the year movie 43 won.
Yes.
And honestly,
which I watched with you.
Yeah, we watched it together. I always forget that there's not an episode on movie 43.
Because that was significantly before we started the podcast, about 5 years prior.
Yes, this is back when I was doing the Plus 2 comedy podcast. But it blows my mind just because whenever we talk about the Razzies, I always have a rule of thumb with movie 43, which is if a movie is exactly what it promises to be, it's not really a bad movie.
Okay.
And movie 43 is like, hey, it is a gross out comedy that's like offensive and not good, but it has a bunch of your favorite celebrities in it. And then if you went in there like, I bet this is Oscar worthy, you're an idiot.
Right. And I believe parts of that movie were quite entertaining.
It's entertaining because we went in there being like, this is going to be a nightmare. And it was, and that's what makes it funny. Seeing, like, Greg Kinnear, like, halfway through the movie give up. Like, that was funny to me.
The Elizabeth Banks directed part with the girl in her period, genuinely quite funny.
Very good, very good. And then, like, that's the year it became the tradition. And we started watching all of them together. Or trying to watch all of them together. Because I believe I watched Ninja Turtles alone the next year.
Yes.
But you bought me Saving Christmas.
Yes.
On DVD with Kirk Cameron. Which, again, I can't believe there's not an episode on that. Like, I can't believe I watched Saving Christmas with Kirk Cameron and then did not record something.
Barely a film.
Not a film. I will straight up say, not a film.
Technically a film, but no.
Because this is, like, our first, like, bit of doing the Razzies is I would live tweet them.
Yes.
And I remember putting in so much content towards them that I didn't realize we didn't record anything. Because, like, we didn't do a podcast on Jupiter Ascending.
No, you didn't make it through Jupiter Ascending.
We did finish it, but I hated it. But I remember during this Razzie Month, I reference Jupiter Ascending.
Yep.
And I went back to, like, because at the end of these episodes on YouTube, you put up, like, recommended episodes to go back and listen to.
Right.
And I try to put up anything that we reference. And I was like, oh, I'll put up the Jupiter Ascending episode. That was a good episode. There isn't one.
No.
That doesn't exist.
No, what you're thinking of is all of us hanging around our friend's coffee table making jokes about Jupiter Ascending.
Yes. So eventually we do have the first Razzie episode that we do. And it is during the Plus Two Comedy podcast era, and it's a bonus episode.
Oh, man.
Where we discuss all the films in one sitting. And then when we start Stay Doomed, we actually are like, should we cover all of them in one episode, or should we do each one separately? And our fans actually said, do them separately. And that's how we kind of started the road of doing the Razzie Month.
Yes, because I've just pulled up. Now, I'm looking at, okay, the 2017, so we would be looking at the next year starting. Yeah, here we are. Okay. I looked in the year I thought we were talking about. I was like, I watched some of these with you, but I didn't watch all of these with you. And then I went to the next year and I went, oh, okay, well, never mind, here they are.
This is where we watched all of them. I believe the first one that we do as a show is, I believe, 2017 is the first time that we record an episode for everything. That's Justice for Baywatch.
Yes. Justice for Baywatch, the Emoji Movie, 50 Shades Darker, because we have so much fun with that plane crash.
Oh, the helicopter crash.
Yes.
In 50 Shades Darker is one of the funniest
He took a shortcut through the mountain.
He took a shortcut through a volcano. He took a shortcut in a helicopter. Like, oh, that is peak, like, 2017 to me is the epitome of what the Razzies should be.
Yes.
It's the Emoji Movie winning, which is just like an advertisement for a phone.
And just a terrible film.
Yes. Baywatch we enjoyed, but if you were like a diehard fan of the TV show, you probably didn't like it. 50 Shades Darker is such a train wreck. The Mummy is Tom Cruise and the Universal Monsters trying to become a franchise.
Yeah, The Mummy, the dark universe.
And then the last one's Transformers, which is like the fourth or fifth of this franchise that just continues on and on.
I'm gonna be honest, we watched this movie and recorded a podcast. I remember nothing.
I remember very, very little about that film. But that, to me, this is what I think the Razzie should be. Franchises being misused, films that have no real merit, that's the things that we're making fun of.
Absolutely.
As we've continued to do this, there's been more and more things in the Razzies that I didn't agree with.
For various reasons as well.
Yeah, there's been a few things where I was just like, this doesn't feel good. It's not, as funny. It's not scratching that itch. It's not, because the thing that I think has always been missing from the Razzies is the Razzies say, own your bad. That's their, tagline.
Yeah.
But they lack a mission statement. Are we looking for the best worst movie, or are we looking for the worst movie? This is a thing that we've discussed basically every year for Razzie Month.
Yeah, every year we always kind of have that little discussion.
Are we looking for a movie that is a 0? Or are we looking for a movie that is a -10?
And I'm forever looking for a movie that is -10.
Yes, to me, a good Razzie movie is one that you will still want to sit down and watch with friends.
I would force my friends to watch Baywatch. It would be my honor to bully people into watching Baywatch.
Yes, absolutely. So we went on this journey a few times. We enjoyed Cats. We enjoyed, I think...
The next year, I would also say, was a year that kind of cemented why we liked it. Sure. That was Holmes and Watson,
yes,
Gotti, The Happy Time Murders, Robin Hood, and Winchester.
Yes. Fun fact, there was a rendering issue with our Holmes and Watson podcast. Mm-hmm. On YouTube, it's only 6 minutes long.
Huh.
You can listen to that one on iTunes and on our Podbean and all the other stuff, but there was some error, and I've realized it recently, and I just haven't fixed it.
That was, again, very much in the vein of, because we actually did quite like The Happy Time Murders.
Yes.
Holmes and Watson made me viscerally angry as a lifelong Sherlock Holmes girly.
Mm-hmm.
And Gotti had the funniest soundtrack of any movie that's ever existed, ever.
Yeah, I remember laughing so hard at Gotti. Because it
was Pitbull.
It was Pitbull. It was
Yeah.
Mr. Worldwide. And it starts with John Travolta saying, like, the only way to get out of prison is to do your time or in a box. And I did both.
This life ends one of two ways, dead or in jail. I did both.
Like, it's, oh, God. There's so much fun to be had here. You brought up Robin Hood recently that I had completely forgotten about. That was a pretend Batman movie.
And, like, because I was complaining about the costumes. Because I was complaining about the costumes during Snow White.
During Snow White, yeah.
So I was complaining about the costumes during Robin Hood. Because I had a lot of beef with the costumes.
Mm-hmm. And then we had a great time with Cats, the Fanatic with Fred Durst at the directing helm.
Unfortunately, to this day, when we hear a Limp Bizkit song, one of us has to go to the other and go, now this is music.
Yes. Very funny stuff. Like, really enjoyable to kind of, like, make fun of this stuff. Hated Last Blood. Last Blood was tough to watch.
But it made sense in the Razzies.
Yes.
That's kind of what I want to point out. Is it made sense in the context of the Razzies. Like, I also similarly hated The Haunting of Sharon Tate, but it opened up a very interesting conversation about legacy, about multiple movies trying to cash in on the 50th anniversary of her murder.
Yeah, this is where they start kind of tipping their toes into this, where it's no longer, haha, look how funny this is, or look how bad this is. It's now starting to reach this territory of, like, can you believe they made a movie about this? Because this is when we start getting music is in 2020, and The Winner's Absolute Proof.
Which I
is
didn't
not
watch.
a movie. I mean, I did it. I believe we do Jack and Jill or something to replace it.
Yes, because there was request to see Jack and Jill.
But I watched it just because this was my tradition. I watch all the Razzie films, and I was like, this isn't a movie. Like, I don't understand how this even is in this category. Like, because it's not a film. It's a YouTube video essay, and a poor one. So that's when things start to kind of fall apart for me, where it's like, oh, what is the mission statement? I'm not sure what the Razzies are anymore.
Yeah, because that was Doolittle, which made a lot of sense. Fantasy Island, which to me was kind of that perfect 0 on the -10 to 10 scale of, like,
yeah,
it
was
exists. And music, which we had a very interesting conversation about, but the ethics of that film are baffling.
It's a weird situation where the thing that makes it bad are the ethics and not the quality. And then when we get to 2021, there's also this weird thing where you can take a big star and laugh at the fact that they're in a bad movie because they're a big star. Good Morning is...
I think we're not at Good Morning yet.
Right, I didn't have a lot to say about 2021, but if you do, by all means.
do.
All right, good.
Because it was so genuinely weird, that group of films, because you had to have what was released in that time. Also, Dear Evan Hansen was robbed. Because I'm looking at this list, and I'm pretty sure we drop one of these movies for Dear Evan Hansen.
No. So, 2021, for those of you playing along at home, are The Woman in the Window.
Which I loathed. That movie actually made me very anxious.
Mm-hmm. Space Jam: A New Legacy. Karen, which is, again, one of those films of, like, why did this get made?
Yeah, barely a film.
Because that was... she's like a white neighbor who, like, calls the police on her black neighbors.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, I remember this now.
Like, this isn't commentary. It's just, like, Gross.
Marky Mark and the Infinite Sadness.
Marky Mark and the Infinite Sadness.
And then Diana, which was I loved. I really
Diana
only brought up this year because I think it's ridiculous that Diana won Worst Picture.
Yes.
Because Diana winning Worst Picture, Diana is what is called a pro shot. It was the professionally filmed version of the Broadway musical, and I don't know that this belongs in a film category.
Yeah, is this a movie? Because I remember this was part of the argument of why Hamilton should be nominated for an Oscar. It was because Diana was nominated for a Razzie. But just to finish my point, we did Dear Evan Hansen early because we were so sure it was going to get nominated.
Yes.
And then it didn't.
Because that was, and I'm pretty sure we've said this on podcast before, it was my birthday party that year.
Yes, it was.
And I just remember Diana being the only one that felt Razzie-like in the fact that Diana was fun.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun talking about Diana. I had a lot of fun watching Diana. An entire song leading up to James Hewitt Did Do It. Great.
Yeah.
No notes.
Then, of course, 2022 is the year that we had to shut one off.
It's the Morbid.
Blonde was so horrible that we couldn't get through it.
I think that's the first time I tried to watch a movie and failed.
Yeah.
Because I had not seen some of the films, but this is the first time I gave it the good old stay doomed try. And there were some fun, I was going to say there were some fun ones. Disney's Pinocchio and Morbius were fun. The rest of them were slogs.
Yes. And I just want to really quickly point out, like, Good Morning is Modson's first film. Like, if you look at anyone's first film, it's going to be issues. But because he's a musician, we kind of don't want to give him any grace and make fun of him. Like, I just felt like it lacks a clear vision of what are the Razzies supposed to be. I'm getting to, like, a bigger point. That's
And when we think about things like Good Morning and The King's Daughter, they really feel like we are looking for these small, almost obscure films to ridicule. It is one thing to make fun of Disney's Pinocchio, which is a cynical cash grab. It's one thing to make fun of Morbius, which was so bad that we convinced them to put it out again as a cult movie, and then that didn't work.
So, I'm taking issue with the movies that are being picked, and not so much who wins that, like, but, like, what is being considered a Razzie movie, because there seems to be a lack of criteria.
Yes.
So why is that? Why is there a lack of vision with this? Why is there a lack of, like, direction with this? I think I have the answer to that. For years, Laura and I are voting members of the Razzies.
Yes.
We get ballots, we get to vote on who wins, we get to make nominations, we can write in nominations, and that is how the Razzies work. That's it.
Yeah, you just pay and they just let you.
Yeah, it's $25 a year. So I've been giving $50 to the Razzies, so Laura and I can have this power. But we share it with people who have done the same. Additionally, there's, like, if you look into the pricing of it, for $500, you can become a Razzie member for life, along with 25 of your friends.
Huh.
So for $500, you can get 26 people ballots. You don't have to have seen any of the films. You don't have to, like... I mean, technically, for $500, I could, for life, set up 26 email accounts and just have 26 votes myself.
Yeah.
The fact that we are just given these ballots without any sort of like guidance or criteria that we're supposed to be looking for. It's just, what do you think is bad? Like, it is clear to me that there are people voting politically, people voting because they don't like certain actors or actresses or directors or franchises. And without any sort of governing body that cares about the product to, instill what we should be doing, it's just kind of chaos. So why is it like that?
And there's only about 1,200 Razzie voters.
That's it?
There's not that. Per Wikipedia, if we look at the 2024 Razzie Awards, which I just happened to have up because we were looking at them year by year, it was 1,179.
We also, because we saw something like the winner was decided by 9 votes this year or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but when I decided I was going to get you this as a gift, I went to the Razzie website and almost didn't do it because I thought the Razzie site was dead.
Huh.
Because it was so poorly maintained. And then I did some more research and I found it, and I was like, okay, cool. And I paid my money and I was in. The messages they sent were sent so much, or was flagged so much for being spam, that it didn't even go to my spam. It went to my dangerous folder.
Oh my gosh.
So the guy who was sending it to me, which I could look up, but I don't want to shame a person. It was just a guy talking. Trying to be like, hey, we need this information, Noah. Be sure to send this. To the point that I sent a chargeback on my credit card. Because I was like, I'm not giving you $50 for nothing. And he sent me
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah. He sent me a kind of angry email.
Oh my.
Why are you doing a chargeback? I've sent you all these emails. And I eventually found it and sent him a message like, hey, I'm really sorry. This went to my spam. I didn't see any of this. I'm going to follow your lead and own my bad. I'm really excited for, the Razzie stuff, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, thanks, Noah. Yeah. So, the fact that the website is so poorly maintained is really a sticking point for me.
Yeah, for something that gets as much attention as it does, it's a very small operation.
I almost don't even want to call it an operation. I'm on the Razzies website right now. And if you go to the Razzies website right now, the first thing you'll see is the Razzies, Own Your Bad. This weird image that has a black line going through the center of the logo for no reason.
Like a copier line?
Yeah. Very strange. Don't understand why that's like that. If you scroll on the main page, you'll see stuff for the 46th Razzies, which just passed.
Yeah.
We just did Razzie Month. If I continue to scroll down, when I get to the 4th article, they're now talking about last year's Razzies.
Yeah.
They're not talking about movies, reviews that could be Razzie nominations for the future. There's no content here.
No.
So then I was like, well, let's check out the Raz blog. So there's a blog here. So it's okay, so this is where they must update their stuff more recently. The first thing that they show is something about Elemental and Indiana Jones.
Oh, I think they were considering putting up a special award because Disney's 2023 maybe was just absolutely miserable. Yeah, I see it over your shoulder. Yeah. 2023.
Yeah, but that's years ago.
Yeah.
I then went to, there's another, Your Razzies Picks, and it says the worst of the week, WEAK.
Yeah.
You know, it's a simple pun. And it says that the movie of the week is Melania. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's fairly recent. I don't think there's been a big high-profile flop recently.
And then there's something that says, We Own Our Bad. And I was like, ooh, the Razzies are going to address their scandal that happened this year that we haven't gotten to yet. If you click on that, it is an article about something that happened in 2022 where they gave an award to Bruce Willis before they knew he was unwell.
Yeah, they had made an entire category of bad Bruce Willis performances because he had put out a number of performances that year, and it has become increasingly clear retrospectively that he was trying to make as many movies as he could before he no longer could.
Right. And I agree that, like, that seemed like an easy joke to do, and then realizing the truth of the matter is a thing to fix and stuff like that. However, it is on your page about this being current to this week.
Yeah, and
it's from 2022, and it leads to an article they didn't write.
Yeah.
So there is so much wrong with this website. I have to keep going. There's there's a more section. You can click sponsor where you can fill in this stuff to be a sponsor of this website.
Okay.
So, and there's currently no sponsors on this website, so it seems like a thing you could do. And then Razzie swag. Let's see what swag they have. The store is closed for maintenance.
Which is wild because you would think that'd be a cash cow, and you'd think they wouldn't do that right after the Razzies. Like, if I was going to close the store for maintenance, I would try to do that during the summer when interest in the Razzies would be low, like not during award season.
I mean, my guess is it's been like this for years. I've never seen Razzie merch.
True, because I feel like...
we are the audience for
Yeah, I was about to say, if there were Razzie merch, I feel like one of us would own it.
So, that brings me to the Razzie Award Ceremony. So, for years, the Razzies was an actual ceremony
that someone could attend.
That you could attend that was held the day before the Oscars.
Yes.
And they made a big deal about, like, when Freddie Got Fingered won, Tom Green showed up to accept the award.
Halle Berry also famously showed up to accept her award.
Accepted the award for Catwoman and recreated her Oscar speech.
Yes.
That she did for Monsters Ball, the year before.
Showing a phenomenal sense of humor about it. Sandra Bullock, I believe, won in the same year.
Sandra Bullock won for All About Steve the same year that she won for The Blind Side. And she comes on stage with a wagon full of All About Steve DVDs, explaining that this can't be the worst movie of the year. None of you saw it. And then she starts reading the script. It was a very funny thing.
That's delightful.
Then, at some point, I'm sorry I don't have this information, it stops being an actual event and becomes a YouTube video. Which, okay, you can do some funny stuff with a YouTube video, but it's definitely no longer an award show then. It's just kind of a thing that happens. Then we have the for 2 years, the Golden Raspberries are hosted by, so it's hosted by The Mean Gays, which it still makes it a YouTube video, but it loses any identity of it being a award show, as it's just two guys who don't even seem interested in bad movies being insulting. And I remember saying, like, should we reach out to the Razzies and see if they want us to, like...
Do anything?
Because we've been basically giving free advertising to the Razzies.
Yeah.
For years now. Like, it's a thing that I believe in and, enjoy. Like,
and
I would gladly write something for the Razzie website, sure.
Be presenters, if you will.
I mean, not even be presenters. Like, just simply be like, here's a quick review of all the movies that are up for Worst Picture.
Yeah.
And, like, or like, do the thing that, like, talk shows do, where it's like, this has Razzie buzz.
Yeah.
It's like something like that.
I mean, a lot of like your Watch Mojos and what have you will do the worst movies of the year so far.
So that brings us to this year. This year, they presented the video where they gave out the awards without a host other than the weird cartoon Golden Raspberry.
Mm-hmm.
And it was full of AI slop.
It was like creepy clowns doing the nominations, like these creepy like harlequins.
Yes, and there was like moments of it where I was like, oh, are they trying to make this look like AI? And there was a moment that we watched a few times where when Ice Cube won, they kind of reveal a scroll with his face on it, and for a moment his face animates.
Yeah, his face like glitches a little bit.
Because the AI doesn't know exactly how to do it.
Ice Cube in War of the Worlds.
And I was like, no, this is definitely AI slop.
Yeah, and it was a huge turnoff for us.
So, in the comments of that, there's all these people being like, why is this AI? What are you guys doing? And the Razzies argue back
Yeah.
that it's a bit. And here's the thing. It could have been a great bit. You could have done a great bit where you were like, hey, the Razzies are now going to be 90% more efficient because of AI. There's an episode of The Simpsons that makes this joke.
Yeah.
And then you hired a artist to actually make it look like it's AI.
Yeah.
But that's clearly not what's being done. They create an AI video and then are saying that's the joke. Mm-hmm. They are taking the thing that is ruining movies and just doing it themselves. Like the thing that's actively making movies worse.
Yeah.
And, the same with the environmental issues and all that stuff. They just did it and then were like, isn't that funny? And it's not. Because at the end of the day, the Razzies is a brand that can make money once a year.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It gets its subscription from its 1,100 people.
Yeah.
I mean, 1,100 times $25 is a big chunk of change.
Yeah.
It should be enough that you could hire an editor to make like a real video. So, but that's not what it wants to be. If it wanted to be that, the website would look good. If it wanted to be that, if this was a love letter to bad movies, or not even a love letter, just a comedic look at people failing, there would be love and care in some aspect of this.
Yeah.
But instead, it just exists to show up once a year, do the thing, and then not be thought about for another 365 days.
Yeah, because the Razzies always make the news. Like, the nominees, the winner, always makes the news. And I was reading a little bit about Blood and Honey, which I did not see because it was not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I watched it and did it alone.
But somewhat, like, one of the producers said, like, it's, we're a really small production to be up with all these, like, big Hollywood movies. Mm-hmm. And with Stay Doomed, we have never been big fans of punching down.
Yes.
And we have stroved. We have attempted to find something to care about in most shows. The shows we really are vitriolic toward tend to be very cynical.
Yes.
I feel like we tend to be more cynical during the Razzies than during 90% of the shows we watch, even the shows we don't like very much, because we can recognize that this show meant something to someone.
Yeah.
And the movies that we're particularly hard on tend to be, I don't think this movie meant anything to anyone. This was just a soulish cash grab Pinocchio. And we try to, and we like enjoying things. I had a great time during Snow White. You had a great time during War of the Worlds.
Yes.
And we regularly have a great time during shows. Even shows that aren't great, we can generally find something enjoyable about them. I'm ashamed at how much the piss dimension has been thrown around as vernacular in our home.
Yeah, thanks, The Quest. But here's a great example. We did an episode, and it was one of our usual, it's been 5 months, we should probably try to do a game show, because we forgot the game show episodes don't do well. And we did Combination Lock.
Yes.
And I was just like, yeah, this is a random thing that I found. It was on like the Wing Martindale channel. We covered it, and we thought it was fine, but we didn't think it had legs. We gave it a Stay Doomed.
Yeah.
And when we give it a Stay Doomed, we are trying to say, like, we don't hate this. Every show is somebody's baby.
But it just means we don't think it would work. We don't think it could be... We don't think it could work as a show, essentially.
Yeah, that is what we're saying. It's like, yeah, the decision to not continue was the correct decision in this case. And we got a comment on that one from one of the creators. And, like, they mentioned something like, oh, yeah, we had a small budget. Yeah, it was tough. And I was like, I get they didn't like it. And I was like, oh my God, you created this. Would you like to come on the show and talk to us? And he was like, no, you don't like my show. And I felt so bad about that, because the idea of this show, of Stay Doomed, is not to punch down, take something that, like, deserves to be ridiculed. We unearth something that has been buried.
Yeah.
And give it a chance. Give it one more chance. And sometimes we're like, we see what went wrong here. That's a shame. Or we're like, man, this deserved more.
Sometimes something is doomed and you can hear how much we don't want it to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reason the game over rule exists, is because sometimes we want to save something so bad.
Yeah. Like, we want to give something its chance in the sun that it may not ever get.
Yeah.
And
we find some real fun ones here. Like, we enjoyed Terra Nova a lot.
Yeah, and, like, there is some fun to be had in, oh my God, I can't believe they made this choice. Like, this is a ludicrous decision. But at the end, it's, should it be, or could it be resurrected? Should it be resurrected? And we try to take the time to be like, here's the pitfalls that could have made this better. It's never, look how stupid they are. And that's kind of the energy we want for our show. I don't think that the Razzies want an energy. They don't have a mission statement. They don't care how it looks. They just want my $25 every year. And it's time that we break up with them.
Yeah, it's been feeling worse and worse. And this year, the AI video, and for me, one of them was like Star Trek Section 31. The fact that in a year with a lot of notorious flops, you had to go digging to go, like, punch down on a streaming movie. Mm-hmm. Like, we didn't end up seeing it. it's also just become unenjoyable because I just said there's a little more cynicism with the Razzie episodes because the movies are often made a little more cynically than the television shows. And I've been really feeling that a lot with the Razzies. I think we are going to still do films.
I think on occasion we'll do a film, but not Razzie Month is over.
Yes, I think we will do them as it makes sense to do them.
Because I no longer understand why the Razzies are culturally relevant. Like, why does 1,100 people who paid $25,
Two of whom are us,
who forgot to vote this year, why do we get to say what the worst movie is more than Watch Mojo? And, like, not that Watch Mojo is, like, on high, but is it run by a team of people who pay attention to pop culture and put out content about pop culture every day?
Yeah.
Like, I think their top 10 list of the worst movies and worst actors of the year is far more credible than whatever the Razzies put out. But the Razzies, for some reason, make the news.
Yeah. And, like, it's been sort of a long time coming with the punching down, and I believe there was a controversy because they had nominated a child actor.
For Firestarter, I think?
Yes, and they ended up having to rescind that because people were like, don't come down on a little kid.
Yeah, because I remember, I think it was during Gotti, I made a comment about a poor performance that a kid made. Mm-hmm. And you were kind of like, hey, maybe we don't make fun of children. And I was like, I'm not. I'm making fun of the director who wasn't like, we need to do that again. Or find a better way. Like, he's a child doing his best, surrounded by adults who are here to help him. Why is no one helping him?
Yeah, because I know when we talked about, like, The Quest and the Amazing Race Family Edition and Kid Nation, I remember having the conversation on mic during Kid Nation of, like, I really don't want to come down on a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Because there was one of the kids in Kid Nation who was... Her edit made her look very bratty.
Yeah. Cast as the villain of a reality show.
And the ethics of that being atrocious.
Yeah.
And me not wanting to be part of the ethics of that.
Yeah.
And the fact that I am, much less seasoned in journalism than the Razzies would theoretically be if they're movie critics.
Yeah, I was about to say,
we have sort of gotten to a point where it is no longer fun.
Yeah. And I think it's time that we break up. So we are hereby breaking up with the Razzies. We'll still do a film on occasion if it especially tickles our fancy.
If it seems fun for us to do.
Or if it makes sense. Like if that damn Coyote movie ever comes out, we're covering it.
The Coyote movie?
The Wile E. Coyote versus Acme movie?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna watch that so hard.
Yeah.
Or things that are tangentially related to what we do. Like, there is a non-zero chance we will do Jackass 5 as an episode.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Because that's just something we have clearly been interested in, and we have enjoyed doing Jackass-adjacent media.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of interesting conversations to be had about what is a Jackass movie in 2026.
Yeah. Do you know where the hidden Jackass episode of Stay Doomed is? The real ones know.
I feel like there's a couple of correct answers.
There's only one hidden episode. There's a hidden episode.
Oh, the hidden episode. Okay.
Now, I'm not going to say where it is. You need to find it. But there is a hidden Jackass episode that is unadvertised that you'd have to search for.
I was going to say, like, are you referencing Camp Steve-O or Gumball Rally?
Nope, I'm talking about the hidden Jackass episode.
The surprise episode, yes. Okay. I'm not going to give it away, but I now know what you mean.
Yes. But thank you so much for joining us for this very unique edition of Stay Doomed. Yeah, this is going to be a numbered episode of Stay Doomed.
Yeah,
usually I'm real fussy about that.
I think we have decided that for us personally, the Razzies have become a Stay Doomed instead of Stay Tuned.
Exactly. It's time for them to stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to talk to us about Razzies or just bad movies that do not need to also have the stigma or the certification of a Razzie, join us in our Discord. You can find it in the links down below. Or else, where else can people find us?
You can email us at thestaydoomedshow@gmail.com, or you can find us on Blue Sky at Stay Doomed.
And if you want to talk to me because you found the secret Jackass episode, I'm at TV's Noah on Instagram.
And if you ever see a movie and you think it would make sense for us to cover now that we are not being bound by the worst pictures of the Razzies, I'm Laura Crane on Blue Sky. There's also... Sorry, this just made me think of... There's also, every year, a movie we kind of wanted to cover that we thought we'd get to cover in the Razzies.
Yeah.
That we didn't, and now we get to just do that movie instead.
Yeah, now we'll just do it instead.
Yay! Until next time, y'all stay doomed.
You hear?